Lin Moyu quickly learned and understood the luck control technique and deeply realized that it was the sublimation of the luck exploration technique, and it was extremely difficult to control the luck of the ethereal forest. It involves more laws of cause and effect. Lin Moyu resisted the urge to understand the laws of cause and effect and only studied luck control technique. Once the law of cause and effect is studied, it cannot be solved in a short time, and it may take hundreds of years to pass. For the time being, he still allowed himself to be a person who knew what was happening but didn't know why. However, Lin Moyu still realized that luck control technique was like his undead wings and time curse, which could be used as a reference for the law of cause and effect. If you have the opportunity in the future, you can study it carefully. Lin Moyu's heart has been attracted by the law of cause and effect. This virtual law, like the laws of time and space, has a fatal attraction history. He has a feeling that if he wants to reach the ultimate peak, he needs to reconcile reality with reality. The combination of virtuality and reality, and the mutual illumination of yin and yang, are the essence of this world. Luck control technique is quite difficult. Fortunately, Lin Moyu has enough understanding and it is not difficult for him. It didn't take long for him to master the luck control technique. The fog that originally shrouded the planet quickly blended in and merged with the luck exploration technique. Lin Moyu found that the fortune detection technique he had just mastered disappeared and became an upgraded version of the fortune control technique. Luck control technique has all the functions of luck detection technique and can also detect luck, while also adding control capabilities. All the mist merged into the magic planet formed by probe and fortune technique, and the magic planet began to rotate rapidly. The speed is getting faster and faster, and lightning even appears on it. This scene seems familiar. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. This is going to be sublimated. Advertisement. Once upon a time, the magic was sublimated, and the magic planet turned into a magic star. This process seemed to be like this. After the rotation reached a certain level, the entire planet exploded. Immediately afterwards, a magic star blooming with bright light rose slowly in the center of the explosion. The magic planet, Yuan Ran, can really sublimate into a magic star. Lin Moyu was really shocked this time. What happened in front of him once again subverted his cognition. He thought of what Antares once said, that without unparalleled luck, it would be impossible for a magic skill to be mastered to become a magic star. But now there is no chance against heaven. How come it has been sublimated? This is so incredible that Lin Moyu can't understand it at all. But this also made Lin Moyu realize how powerful the Yunwu sect was as an ancient sect. The so-called heaven-defying opportunity is nothing more than an inheritance from the Yunwu sect. However, if you look carefully, you will find that the magic stars that were just born, are still different from those of your own. When the star was born, although there was a big explosion, there was no black hole where the ruins of the big world could be seen. Compared with those of my own magic stars, they seem to be a little weaker. Lin Moyu regained consciousness. Master Wu seemed a little impatient and immediately asked, "How is it? Have you learned it?" She seemed a little nervous, but also a little excited. It seems that I hope Lin Moyu can learn it, but I don't want Lin Moyu to learn it. This contradictory thought was clearly visible on her expression. Lin Moyu looked at the stone tablet in the distance. It's better to use the stone tablet as a test subject. Master Wu said, "Yes, there are 3 stone tablets there, each with different luck. You have to adjust their luck so that they are close to each other, and the difference between the lowest and the highest cannot exceed 10 points. Okay." Lin Moyu walked towards the stone tablet, and the requirement was that the difference should not exceed 10 points to pass. But this is just the basis. If you want to get better results, you need to make the luck value of the stone tablet closer, preferably exactly the same. Advertisement. Arriving in front of the stone tablet, Lin Moyu popped up the luck control technique he had just mastered, and the 3 stone tablets immediately reflected their respective luck values. The stone tablet on the left has a value of 80 and is light red. The stone tablet in the middle has a value of 60 and is green. The stone tablet on the right has a value of 40 and is light green. When the luck exceeds 80, the color will change from green to red. As the luck increases, the red will become stronger and stronger. Once the luck is lower than 20, it will appear gray, indicating that the luck is very bad and no matter what you do, it will not go well. Between 21 and 79, there are different shades of green, which means you are lucky. Whether you can succeed in what you want to do depends on the difficulty of the thing. Like the luck of the stone tablet, because it does not involve other things, the probability of change is extremely low. But the creature is different. Because the creature is always moving, its luck value is always changing. Maybe a word, a thought, or something you are about to do will affect your luck. The luck control technique can only reflect the luck value at this time point. Following the method of luck control, Lin Moyu began to adjust the luck value of the stone tablet. Taking the middle steel as a benchmark, he wanted to reduce the luck value of the left steel. When the luck control technique is activated, the luck value of the stone tablet changes immediately. It changed from light red to thick green, and the value also changed from 80 to 79. At this time, Lin Moyu felt that his soul seemed to be under some kind of pressure, and a force from the underworld fell on his soul. This is cause and effect. I adjusted the luck value of the stone tablet, planted the cause, and received the result of the stone tablet. What this result is, I cannot determine, but the cause and effect has been established, and I must bear this result. Lin Moyu's heart was as clear as a mirror, and he immediately understood what was going on. The law of cause and effect is like a big net of nothingness. It exists in the illusory side of the big world. Everything you do in daily life will establish cause and effect. Advertisement. Everything has a cause and an effect, and these causal relationships will be constantly established and broken. Some causes and effects will offset, and some will accumulate. The great net of the law of cause and effect is running like this in the world of nothingness, and no one can escape. He couldn't feel cause and effect before, and could only see the line of cause and effect under certain circumstances. That's the law of cause and effect showing up, and it's basically of no use. Now, he has received part of Yun Wunong's inheritance, and through the luck control technique, he can finally feel the cause and effect that falls on him. Lin Moyu had a new understanding of cause and effect, but he continued to adjust the values without stopping. From unfamiliarity to proficiency, Lin Moyu's adjustment speed is getting faster and faster. As the steel's luck decreases, more and more causes and effects fall on it, and the resistance to adjustment becomes greater and greater. Soul power is being consumed rapidly, and adjusting the opponent's luck requires a huge soul. Fortunately, Lin Moyu replenishes his soul quickly, so this consumption is nothing. After just 5 minutes, Lin Moyu fixed the luck value of the stone tablet on the left to 60, no more, no less. Seems a bit simple. The adjustment was so simple that even Lin Moyu felt a little weird. He felt that any high-level god could do it. After thinking about it, doing it, I then adjusted the stone tablet on the right. This time, I wanted to increase the luck value. Once again, cause and effect were established. Different from lowering the luck value, when the luck value was increased, Lin Moyu found that the pressure on his soul was even greater. Not only is the consumption of soul power intensified, but a sense of emptiness arises spontaneously, and the body becomes heavy. Lin Moyu realized that improving luck was not easy, and he had to bear greater consequences. Just as he was adjusting, he suddenly discovered that the luck value of the stone tablet on the left began to slowly rise again. It turns out that the difficulty lies here. The stone tablet told Lin Moyu with facts that even if it is a dead object, its luck value will still change. The luck value of this steel is 80. No matter how Lin Moyu adjusts it, whether it increases or decreases, it will return to its original value after a period of time. This is just a dead thing. If it were a living thing, the changes would be even more dramatic. At the same time, Lin Moyu also realized that luck control technique can only be used at the most critical time, and it will not work if it is used too early or too late. Facing the stone tablet on the left that was slowly rising, Lin Moyu once again used the luck control technique to adjust its luck value. Doing two things at once is not difficult for Lin Moyu. This time the speed was faster than before. In just 2 minutes, the luck value had been adjusted. The luck value of the 3 stone tablets has reached 60 steadily, and they look exactly the same. However, Lin Moyu continued to make subtle adjustments. He found that although the values were the same, the colors displayed were still slightly different. He realized that the accuracy of numerical values alone was not enough. Ordinary practitioners may not notice this. After all, the difference is already very small. But he couldn't hide it. His keen soul allowed him to clearly feel the difference. After another half-minute of adjustment, the 3 stone tablets not only had the same values, but also the colors became exactly the same, with even the slightest difference gone. Lin Moyu maintained this state and waited for about 10 seconds. The stone tablet shook at the same time, and the connection between him and the stone tablet was disconnected. Lin Moyu felt that the cause and effect between himself and the stone tablet was broken. The cause and effect established before was now gone. The 3 stone tablets glowed brightly at the same time, and the scene in front of them rippled like water waves again. When the picture became clear again, Lin Moyu knew that he had reached another level. Advertisement. It should be the 7th floor. Lin Moyu thinks he has done it perfectly. If he can't reach the 7th floor like this, it will be even harder for others to do it. Master Wu appeared in sight, her expression still full of disbelief. Although she had been shocked many times, she still couldn't help but be shocked again. How did you do it? How did you pass it all at once? Lin Moyu smiled. It doesn't seem difficult. Mr. Wu screamed strangely. How can it not be difficult? There are very few people who can pass it in one go. Even if you can adjust the luck value to be the same, you can only teleport to the 6th floor at most. To reach the 7th level, you need to adjust the color to the same level based on the same luck value. It's easy to adjust the luck value, but it's difficult to adjust the color. You have to do 2 things at once. Only 1 person in a million can do it. You are really amazing. It's over, I have a new master, and I have endless things to do. Master Wu seemed to be very worried about his next fate, with a sad face. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Don't worry, even if I become your new master, you won't be too busy." Mr. Wu's eyes lit up. Really? Lin Moyu smiled and said, "I promise." As he spoke, he walked towards the center of the 7th floor to receive the new inheritance. At the foot of Yunwu Mountain, Wu Xingzuan saw the inheritance tower light up to the 7th floor and shouted again, "Great job!" Then his eyes flickered and he said to himself, "In addition to my great-granddaughter, I also have several apprentices." It seems that the apprentices also have granddaughters. Unknowingly, Wu Xingzuan's ideas were led astray by the crooked old man in the village. Inheritance Tower, 7th floor, level inheritance. In addition to the supreme inheritance, this is already the highest inheritance in Yunwu sect. Even from the former Yunwu sect, there were not many people who could get here. For most of the disciples, learning the operation control technique was the limit. Advertisement. The clouds and mist still shrouded the magic star of luck control technique, as always, which made Lin Moyu realize that the magic star could continue to improve. Could it be that we can continue to advance to the white star level? It would be too outrageous. A large piece of information was passed into the soul, and Lin Moyu immediately calmed down and accepted the inheritance. The third inheritance is explosive luck technique, which is still the control of luck, and is a new development of luck control technique. Compared with the gentleness of luck control technique, explosive luck technique has suddenly transformed and become extremely intense. Explosive luck technique has 2 uses. One is to detonate the opponent's luck and directly attack the opponent with the power of cause and effect. The strength of the attack that triggers luck is a combination of your own soul power, luck, and the opponent's luck. Generally speaking, the stronger your own soul power, the higher your luck value, and the lower the opponent's luck value, the greater your power. If the two have similar strength and similar luck, explosive luck technique will not have much effect. However, if the Yunwu sect can become a large ancient sect, how could it not take this into consideration? Explosive luck technique can become their advanced inheritance, so how can it be so useless? Explosive luck technique, in addition to detonating the opponent's luck, another function is to detonate one's own luck. The detonation here will make your luck skyrocket. Please give me flowers, 0. First use explosion luck technique to increase your own luck, and then use luck control technique to weaken the opponent's luck. Finally, use explosive luck technique to detonate the opponent's luck. One will ebb and flow, and the opponent will suffer a terrible causal attack. According to the inheritance, as long as you practice the explosive luck technique to the extreme, you are basically invincible. What a heaven-defying magic! The senior who created this technique is definitely the one. How did you come up with this? Without understanding the law of cause and effect, you directly used luck to trigger the law of cause and effect to attack. Advertisement. Lin Moyu admires the Yunwu sect very much. The person who can come up with such a technique must be Tianzuan. As far as he knew, the Supreme Being could not reach this level. Although explosive luck technique is very powerful, it also has a shortcoming: it is too difficult to comprehend. 0. Lin Moyu discovered from the inheritance of explosive luck technique that if one fails to understand the worldview of the Yunwu sect, he or she will only have a superficial grasp of explosive luck technique at most, and it will be difficult to achieve the invincibility in the same situation as mentioned in the inheritance. The Yunwu sect not only has these 3 techniques, but also has many powerful offensive techniques. Even if it is only used in conjunction with the luck control technique, it is already amazingly powerful. Lin Moyu understood the explosive luck technique and knew that the previous explosive luck technique and luck control technique were actually preparations for the explosive luck technique. This technique is the real joy of mastery. Lin Moyu is now looking forward to what the supreme inheritance will be. The understanding of explosive luck technique is not as good as before. Even Lin Moyu needs to spend a lot of time and integrate his concepts of the virtual and real world with it. Time passed little by little, and Lin Moyu sat cross-legged and motionless. Master Wu seemed a little bored, looking at Lin Moyu on the left and Lin Moyu on the right. She didn't bother Lin Moyu. Her eyes were always full of anxiety. If Lin Moyu really becomes the new master, I don't know what he will do to himself. Where has his old master gone? Why is he missing? Although Master Wu is a weapon spirit, he is rich in emotions and is no worse than any other living being. 30 days later, Lin Moyu's breath, which had been silent for a long time, fluctuated again. A strong breath rose from his body, and an invisible force hovered above Lin Moyu's head, like clouds and mist, faintly emitting the sound of a dragon's roar. Looking carefully, there is indeed a dragon hovering in the clouds and mist, majestic and powerful. Master Wu's eyes widened. Luck is like a dragon, really luck is like a dragon, his luck is too strong. After a while, Lin Moyu opened his eyes. There was a hint of joy in his eyes. The effect is good. 11. He just tried to use explosive luck technique to increase his luck. He could clearly feel that his luck had almost doubled. It's a pity that my luck cannot be detected. I can only feel it roughly. Lin Moyu felt that his luck, with the blessing of explosive luck technique, seemed to have broken through the limit and reached another level. The limit of luck is 100. If you exceed 100, you can reach another level called luck like a dragon in the inheritance. I had reached this level just now, but unfortunately it was only temporary and could only last for a while. But it's enough. Although I haven't tested the power of explosive luck technique yet, it just greatly improves luck, which is an extremely powerful ability. In some special circumstances, it can produce unexpected effects. Lord Wu was surprised. You realized it in just 10 days? Lin Moyu asked knowingly, is 30 days fast? Master Wu snorted, of course it's fast. I've seen the core disciples of Yunwu sect take 50 years to scratch the surface. 30 days, 50 years, there's a big difference. Lin Moyu chuckled, maybe it's because I'm too smart. TCH. Lord Wu snorted with disdain, then go and try and see if you can get the supreme inheritance. Then she explained the rules of the assessment. The target of this assessment is still the stone tablets, and the number has once again changed from 3 to 1. The assessment method is to use explosive luck technique to attack the stone tablet, and the score will be determined based on the strength of the attack. Lin Moyu came to the stone tablet and first detected the luck value of the stone tablet. Advertisement. The dazzling red light blinded Lin Moyu's eyes. The luck of the stone tablet was as high as 90. It was red and very powerful. Explosive luck technique uses one's own soul power, one's own luck and the target's luck difference to obtain the final damage zone. The greater the difference in luck values, the greater the damage. Facing the stone tablet, the soul power can almost be ignored. This is a dead thing. No matter how strong your soul is, it will never tire of its use. The main test is the mastery of explosive luck technique. With such a high luck value, it is difficult for ordinary people to reach 90. Their own luck is not as good as it. Explosive luck technique will not only hurt it, but it will backfire if it is not done well. Use explosive luck technique to improve your own luck and then weaken its luck to form an effective attack. But the limit of my own luck is only 100. The opponent has 90 points of luck. Even if it is reduced by 20 points, the difference between the two is only 30 points. How much damage can it cause? 1. Lin Moyu realized the difficulty of this assessment. The difference in luck between the two is too small. A difference of 30 points will not cause too much damage. Lin Moyu estimates that if you want to get good results, you must create a difference of at least 50 points. If you want to obtain the supreme inheritance, the difference will be even greater. Lin Moyu did not take action immediately, but looked at the adults on the side. Master Wu, if you want to obtain the supreme inheritance, what should you do? Master Shi did not hide anything. It's very simple, just smash the stone tablet to pieces. It is definitely not easy to smash the stone monument. Lin Moyu frowned. If you want to smash the stone monument, the difference in luck is estimated to be more than 80 points. Mr. Wu said, it's more or less the same. I don't know the specifics. It's not easy anyway. I know that there are only 3 people who can smash stone monuments, including the old master. 3 people are 3 people who have the talent of being a god and understand the world of reality and reality. One of them is Huanwu Tianzuan, and Lin Moyu doesn't know who the other 2 are. But he is confident that he will soon be the 4th. Advertisement. Lin Moyu is smiling. I am the 4th one. He let out a light drink, and his soul power exploded. He activated the explosive luck technique and began to drastically suppress the stone tablet's luck value. The luck value of the stone tablet dropped at an alarming rate, and its color quickly changed from dark red to light red. When the luck value dropped below 80, the red suddenly turned into a rich green. Then the green began to fade quickly. Suppressing the target's luck, a trace of causal power falls on him, gradually forming 5. As the steel's luck value gets lower and lower, Lin Moyu is under increasing pressure. The soul power is being consumed rapidly, and the speed is getting faster and faster. When the luck value of the steel fell below 40, the pressure on Lin Moyu had increased several times. The speed of soul power consumption has also increased 3-fold. Even with the frantic replenishment of the world tree, soul power is still gradually decreasing. After that, every time the luck value drops, the consumption of soul power will increase exponentially. When the luck value of the stone tablet reaches 30, the consumption of soul power is already 10 times that of normal circumstances. Under this situation, Lin Moyu couldn't bear it. Not enough, not even close. Make sure to get it below 20. As long as you can reduce the luck value of the stone tablet to 20, then detonate your own luck to reach the limit of 100. That way, the difference can be at least 80 points. If you use explosive luck, again, you will have a chance to blow up the stone monument. The luck value is still declining. Driven by Lin Moyu regardless of the cost, some people in World Tree are unable to make ends meet. The 9-color dragon soul crystal, which had been silent for a long time, suddenly let out a dragon roar. It sprays out 9-color dragon breath to cover the soul, and the 9-color dragon breath turns into billowing soul power. Lin Moyu's spirit was shocked. The 9-colored dragon soul crystal had not been moved for a long time, and he almost forgot that this guy existed. Advertisement. With its addition, the soul has power again. Lin Moyu worked harder and continued to press Sherbei's luck. Lin Moyu doesn't know that under normal circumstances, the luck suppression is only about 20 to 30 points. Like Lin Moyu, it is very difficult to suppress someone with more than 70 points. It was precisely because he didn't know that Lin Moyu was fearless and went straight to it. The luck value decreases little by little. 25, 24, 23. Finally, the stone tablet's luck value reached 19, and the light green turned into gray instantly. At this time, the stone tablet is plagued by bad luck and is in danger of death at any time. To it, fragmentation is death. It's reached the limit. Lin Moyu realized that he could no longer suppress his luck. 19 was the limit. At this moment, the pressure on my body is already very huge, as if I am carrying a galaxy, and I am breathless 0.3. The huge pressure brought by the law of cause and effect is simply incomprehensible unless you have been involved in it. Luck, explode. Lin Moyu shouted in his heart, and he exploded his luck. Luck rises sharply, clouds and mist fly out of the head, and the dragon captain moans endlessly. Lin Moyu didn't dare to delay for a second and immediately detonated the stone monument's luck. The law of cause and effect descends, attacking in a form that Lin Moyu cannot understand. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity and opened the eyes of his soul to the maximum, wanting to see what the law of cause and effect looked like. He seemed to see a layer of illusory and hazy mist. The mist that should have been hidden behind the world suddenly flickered. There was no huge movement, and the stone tablet shattered. The stone tablet was broken into pieces, as fine as powder. The whole process happened in an instant, less than a billionth of a second, and even with Lin Moyu's eyesight, he couldn't see it clearly. Master Wu watched Lin Moyu being teleported away with his own eyes in disbelief. She muttered to herself, "It's over, we really need a new owner. There's going to be a new owner. There's going to be a new owner." She kept repeating the same words, and it was obvious that she was very worried. At the foot of the mountain, Saint Hao couldn't help but let out a loud roar. The power of the Holy Lord exploded uncontrollably. At this moment, Holy Lord Hao became a little bit out of control. As a result, the whole village seemed to have experienced a terrible storm, and almost all the houses were blown away. The ancestors were blown hundreds of meters away by the storm in great embarrassment and fell heavily to the ground. In this world of rules, only the Holy Lord can exert some power. Those powerful ancestors are just ordinary people with relatively strong bodies. Saint Hao's one gaffe made them extremely embarrassed. But none of them dared to go to Wu Xingzuan to argue. That would be asking for trouble. The inheritance tower is all lit up. That kid is going to get the supreme inheritance. My God, there are so many of us, so many years, but we are not as good as a little guy who just came here. We all live to be 17 dogs. I'm not exaggerating, everyone here, including myself, are trash. The 10th floor of the inheritance tower is a place where even Lord Wu, the weapon spirit, cannot enter. Advertisement. The space that had been sealed in dust for countless years finally welcomed a new guest. From ancient times to the present, the number of people who are qualified to come here does not exceed the number of palms. Lin Moyu looked at the space carefully. The space was not big, and he could see it all at a glance. There is a thin layer of mist filling the space, but it does not block the view. In the middle of the space, there is an extremely huge pearl floating, which is exactly the one on the top of the Inheritance Tower. When I saw it outside Yunwu Mountain, there was a clear difference between seeing it from a distance and seeing it up close. There was a strange look in Lin Moyu's eyes. This pearl gave him a feeling of déjà vu. It's somewhat similar to Princess Luoxin's pair of pearls. Lin Moyu thought in his heart. Luoxin's pair of pearls should also come from ancient times. It seems that strong men in ancient times also had a special liking for pearls. Suddenly, the pearl burst into light, and all the mist in the 10th layer of space rolled back and was sucked into the pearl. The entire space became extremely bright and the fields were clearly separated. A large number of ancient symbols appeared around the space, and then the space changed and the surroundings turned into a starry sky. Countless stars are shining brightly and prosperously. Countless cultivators shuttled back and forth in the starry sky. Each of them was powerful and fast. Some control magic weapons, some fly alone, and some shuttle through space. The starry sky in front of me is many times more prosperous than the starry sky today. Each galaxy here has several stars and hundreds of planets. There are astonishingly many galaxies like this one after another. It also brought a massive amount of resources, enough to cultivate a large number of practitioners. Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with shock. This is the big world in ancient times, so prosperous. The pearls sparkled, and a figure stepped out of the light. He has a majestic demeanor and sharp features. Just by looking at him, Lin Moyu can be sure that he must have been in a high position for a long time. Advertisement. His eyes swept across the starry sky, seemingly with nostalgia, and finally landed on Lin Moyu. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt like he had been seen through. The previous saints and supreme beings had never given him this feeling. Lin Moyu immediately realized that the person in front of him was the Heavenly Lord. The previous generation owner of the Inheritance Tower, Huan Yuan Tianzuan. Unexpectedly, Huan Wu Tianzuan still left a trace of soul consciousness here. Lin Moyu immediately saluted, Junior Lin Moyu, I have met the Huan Wu Tianzuan. Huan Wu Tianzuan showed a smile, those who can come here are all smart people. The implication is that I am not surprised that Lin Moyu can guess his identity. Huan Wu Tianzuan then sighed, such a starry sky should be gone. Lin Moyu's mood also became heavy with his words, the starry sky is still there, but it's not so prosperous anymore. Huan Wu Tianzuan sighed, war is always cruel. His words seemed to have boundless magic, and a simple sentence could arouse other people's emotions. Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh, but sometimes, you have to fight. Yes, we have to fight. Huan Wu Tianzuan turned around and asked, how many years have passed since our time? He has been sleeping, unaware of the passage of time, only knowing that their era is over. Lin Moyu calculated, about 2 million years. Huan Wu Tianzuan was not surprised, it's been quite a long time, 2 million years, even if there wasn't that war, I would have died. Lin Moyu was surprised, can't Tianzuan live forever? Huan Wu Tianzuan gave out a deep smile, longevity is not easy. The Holy Lord has 100,000 years, the Supreme Lord has 200,000 years, and even the Heavenly Lord only has 500,000 years. Lin Moyu was shocked. In your time, the Holy Lord could live for 100,000 years. Huan Wu Tianzuan was a little surprised. Can't the current Holy Lord live for 100,000 years? Lin Moyu shook his head. If you can't live, it will only be 50,000 years old at most, and most of them will not even be 40,000 years old. Huan Wu Tianzuan frowned. Let me see. Advertisement. He looked up to the sky, and his breath suddenly became sharp. In the starry sky, it seemed as if a huge black hole had been opened, and a terrible aura was revealed from the black hole. Lin Moyu's body sank so hard that he almost sat down on the ground. The purple gold body is shining, and the soul world that has just turned into the prototype of the rule world is also trembling at this moment. This power represents supremacy and is incomparable. Lin Moyu reluctantly raised his head, looked through the black hole, and saw the scene on the other side of the black hole. Great World Rune. Lin Moyu trembled in his heart. He actually saw the Great World Rune in the real world. Tianzuan's power is so strong that even a trace of soul will can easily open the passage to the runes of the big world. It is conceivable that if the main body of Huanwu Tianzuan is here, then it will not only look at the big world runes, but may also be able to truly reach the space where the big world runes are located. The moment the black hole was opened, the entire world of rules shook violently, and invisible power fell out of thin air. Those ancestors had just stood up, but now they were pushed to the ground again. One by one, they were lying on the ground, extremely embarrassed. Even Saint Hao almost fell to the ground at this moment, but he managed to hold on. What happened? Wu Xingzuan was shocked. This power was far beyond his imagination. He felt a deep sense of powerlessness at this moment. He felt like an ant, extremely insignificant. At the same time, he began to worry about Lin Moyu. Don't let anything happen. It doesn't matter if you don't get the inheritance, come back alive and well. Saint Hao kept muttering in his heart, and he even regretted bringing Lin Moyu here. On the 7th floor of the inheritance tower, Master Wu raised his head and murmured, "Old Master, it's the aura of the Old Master. Old Master, it turns out you haven't left yet. People didn't say bad things about you before, so don't be angry. Xiao Wu is very well behaved." Lin Moyu saw the Great World Rune again, and the cracks on the Great World Rune became more and more serious. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat as the situation of the Great World Runes worsened again. It hadn't been many years since the last time I saw him, and it seemed to be deteriorating faster than expected. Lin Moyu feels that Xing Lao's worries are still too good. If this continues, the resources of the big world will be depleted at an accelerated rate, and competition among various races will begin. But the good thing is that not many people can see the runes of the big world. At least the Holy Lord can't see them if he wants to. Xing Lao can't see it either. Maybe he has a way to sense it, but it's impossible to see it clearly like Huanwu Tianzuan. This is also a time window for humans to prepare and respond earlier. But can this world be smooth? Lin Moyu had a vague premonition in his heart. He even wanted to detect the luck value of the big world rune to see if its color was red, green, or gray. The Supreme Illusion Mist withdrew its power after lasting for only 2 seconds, and the channel disappeared. The world has regained its calm, and only the runes in the space of the Inheritance Tower are still shining. Huanwu Tianzuan has consumed a lot of power and seems a bit frivolous. After all, he is just a trace of a remnant soul. His power is powerful in nature, but the quantity is not enough. The starry sky transformed by the runes illuminated a large amount of starlight and fell on the remnant soul of Huanwu Tianzuan, allowing the remnant soul to recover. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, is there any result?" Huan Wutian sighed respectfully, "Our home is ruined." Lin Moyu's heart sank. Huan Wutianzuan's words were a very bad answer. He suppressed his uneasiness and asked, "Is there still a chance for Nirvana?" Huan Wutianzuan shook his head, "There is not much hope." "It's not a big hope, but there is still hope." Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. Huan Wutianzuan didn't say anything to death. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, he can try. Advertisement. Huan Wutianzuan said, "A glimmer of hope is almost the same as not having it." Lin Moyu's tone became decisive. "Senior, please tell me how to repair the ruins of the great world and bring the world back to life." The eyes of Huan Wutianzuan were bright, and thousands of stars emerged out of thin air, reflecting on Lin Moyu. "Do you know how much karma you will bear if you really want to do that? You have great luck, but you may not be able to carry it. With your qualifications, you have the opportunity to rush onto the divine path, become a deity, and transcend this big world. You still have time. As long as you can reach Tianzuan, even if this world is destroyed, you will not die. If you choose to repair it, you will be trapped here and die with it. Are you sure you want to do this?" Huan Wutianzuan's words fell heavily on Lin Moyu like mountains and seas. Lin Moyu faces two choices. One is to live and die with the big world. If he succeeds, the big world can be repaired without even needing nirvana. If he fails, he will perish with the big world. The second option is that he rushes to the divine path with his amazing qualifications, reaches the level of God, and transcends the world. Even if the world dies, he can still live. With Tianzuan's lifespan, it would not be a problem to live for hundreds of thousands more years. But for Lin Moyu, he had no choice. He can't give up on the big world, he can't give up on his wife in the sleeping coffin, and it's also impossible for him to give up on his friends and seniors in the big world. Even if he can transcend, these people will die when the world is destroyed. Lin Moyu showed a smile and said, "Senior, I'm sure." Huanwu Tianzuan can naturally see Lin Moyu's determination. If this is the case, then I will tell you the method of repairing the ruins of the great world. But before that, I want to know more about what happened to the world in these years. When I looked at the ruins of the big world before, I discovered some problems. Advertisement. Lin Moyu immediately recounted what happened after ancient times. It included the pictures he had seen through the ruins. The giants collapsed, the ruins evolved into secret realms, and various races competed for them. 100,000 years ago, when the human race was almost destroyed, Xiao Zhantian came into the world to turn the tide. He single-handedly ended the modern era. While narrating, Lin Moyu also kept paying attention to Huanwu Tianzuan's expression. Huanwu Tianzuan didn't seem to have any reaction. Maybe he was used to seeing too many big things, so he took some things for granted. When he saw that the ruins of the great world were seriously damaged and knew that the world was about to be destroyed, he just sighed. After Lin Moyu finished speaking, Huanwu Tianzuan said, "This is cause and effect." His tone was extremely calm. Back then, when we plundered the origins of the worlds from all sides, the cause was planted. The human race was almost wiped out, and this is the result. Lin Moyu was shocked. Isn't the law of cause and effect a law of the big world? How could it be so? Laws belong to the big world, how can they backfire on themselves? In Lin Moyu's understanding, cause and effect are all for the creatures within the big world, and the big world itself should be above cause and effect. Huanwu Tianzuan did not explain. When you get to Tianzuan, you will naturally understand. This world is far more complicated than you think. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, do you have a way to repair the ruins of the great world?" It is not easy to repair the ruins of the big world, but there are still methods, but they are not necessarily effective. Huanwu Tianzuan said slowly, and Lin Moyu immediately pricked up his ears and listened carefully. The method of repairing the big world is very difficult, and the probability of repair is only about 30%. Huanwu Tianzuan not only told Lin Moyu how to repair the ruins of the great world, but also told Lin Moyu how to achieve Tianzuan without relying on divine ways and transcend the great world. Only then did Lin Moyu realize that if he wanted to become a supreme being, even a deity, he could do it without taking the spiritual path. Advertisement. There is another path to take. But taking that path is equivalent to drawing a clear line with the big world. Strictly speaking, you are no longer a person in the big world. At the same time, it will also cause some damage to the big world. In the past, the big world could still bear this kind of damage. But now, that's just rubbing salt into the wound. Huanwu Tianzuan said, "You still have a chance to make a choice before you step into the Supreme." Although Lin Moyu has already made a decision, Huanwu Tianzuan still gave Lin Moyu two choices. As for how to choose, it all depends on Lin Moyu himself. Huanwu Tianzuan said sincerely, "You still have time, and the world also still has time. It is a blessing for the human race to have an outstanding descendant like you born in this era. The inheritance has been given to you, and the Yunwu sect, Wang Zhao Zhao, has a successor. Perhaps this inheritance will be helpful to what you want to do. We people are ashamed of the world and countless living beings. I will use this remaining soul to finally do something for this world." The majestic aura rose again, the starry sky changed, and a star map appeared in front of his sight. Lin Moyu was suppressed by the breath of Huanwu Tianzuan and was speechless. He even stopped breathing and could only watch helplessly. He didn't know what Huan Wu Tianzuan was going to do, he only knew that he was going to do something big. On the star map, many stars appeared, and Lin Moyu discovered that they were star fields belonging to various races. Demon Clan, Golden Eagle Clan, Bull Demon Clan, Flying Python Clan, Blackstone Clan. There are all races, big and small. Huan Wu Tianzuan's whole body aura reached its peak, and he drank softly, explode. The explosive luck technique suddenly activated, and Huan Yu Tianzuan's luck rose sharply. Dragon roars resounded. Huan Wu Tianzuan's voice was extremely low, burn my soul and steal your luck. Yunwu Mountain collapsed, and the entire Huanwu sect inheritance collapsed. This originally broken world of rules began to collapse as the last remnant soul of Huan Wu Tianzuan disappeared. Huan Wu Tianzuan used all the power at his disposal to do the last thing for the human race and this big world. He deprived all ethnic groups of their luck and gave it back to the Great World. Although the Great World Rune cannot be repaired, it can at least last for a while longer. The extra time is very important to the world, to the human race, and to Lin Moyu. When everything disappeared, the only thing that finally fell into Lin Moyu's hands was the pearl. That is the supreme inheritance of the Fantasy Mist sect. Saint Hao and all the ancestors were once again pressed to the ground, unable to move. The power of Huan Wu Tianzuan swept across the entire world of rules, making them feel chilled. It was not until the world of rules completely collapsed and the power of Huan Wu Tianzuan completely disappeared that they recovered. At this moment, they have returned to the big world. The law returns to the body, because the breath of the world blows in the face. Everyone looked at each other. The inheritance has collapsed. Lin Xiaoyu should have obtained the supreme inheritance, so the inheritance collapsed directly. That should be the case, and we don't have to try again and again. It would be great if you can get it. I don't know what is in this supreme inheritance. 817, no matter what it is, it's not something you and I can get. At this time, Wu Xingzuan's voice rang in the ears of the ancestors, you should go home first, and remember not to tell anyone about what happened here. Advertisement. Wu Xingzuan did not keep these old shameless guys. But these ancestors did not leave, but said shamelessly, Lord, Holy Lord, I want to say a few words to Xiaoyu Lin. Saint Hao said angrily, there's nothing to say, hurry up and get out, or I will take action. How could Wu Xingzuan not know what these old guys wanted to say? They just wanted to trick Lin Moyu into going home, and then give all their hundreds of granddaughters to Lin Moyu. Wu Xingzuan will not give them this opportunity. He has blocked the fortress himself, and these guys will not have their turn. Under Wu Xingzuan's strict order to drive people away, a group of old guys had no choice but to leave. After the golf gang shamelessly drove away, Wu Xingzuan looked at Lin Moyu. At this moment, Lin Moyu is looking into the distance, with wonder and thinking in his eyes. At the same time, the aura emanating from Lin Moyu shocked Saint Hao. The aura exuding from Lin Moyu's body is exactly the aura of the world of rules. How can this be? Saint Hao couldn't believe it. No matter what he saw or felt, it was extremely outrageous and completely inconsistent with common sense. Lin Moyu is only a god, and he is only a first-level god. How can a world of rules appear in his body? That's something that doesn't even exist in the other shore realm. Could it be because of the inheritance of Yunwu sect? Saint Hao couldn't figure it out and could only blame the Yunwu sect. As a large ancient sect, the Yunwu sect has some strange things that are not unacceptable. Lin Moyu has a world of rules, so what he is looking at now can be easily revealed. At this moment, Lin Moyu's eyes were full of complexity. In his sight, there is a new divine road. That is the road from the Holy One to the Supreme. There have been countless holy masters who have set foot on the divine road, walked to the end, and achieved the Supreme. Advertisement. This is also the road to heaven built by the great world for the Holy Lord. It's a pity that the path to God is now broken, so in this era, no one can achieve the Supreme. The divine path lies between reality, and is said to be invisible to all non-holy beings. In fact, it is not because of the Holy Lord, but because of the rules of the world. The world of rules is an independent world, and it also has both virtual and real sides. So when the world of rules is established, you have the qualification to see the divine way. In the big world, there are hundreds of divine paths. 99 of them have been completely disconnected, making it impossible to move forward or redo them. Only the human race's divine path seems to be broken, and there seems to be a glimmer of opportunity. While Lin Moyu was observing the divine path, he was also thinking about the method mentioned by Huan Wu Tianzuan. He has completely abandoned the method of not becoming a god, transcending the world, and achieving supreme or even heavenly status. He put down everything here and resolutely chose another path. If you want to repair the great world runes, you must first recast the divine path. Only by recasting the divine path and becoming the supreme of the great world can one be qualified to approach the runes of the great world and repair them. This is only the first step. The first step is extremely difficult. No one has done it since ancient times. As for the other things to prepare, it is no simpler than this step. If you can't even do the first step, everything else is just talk. Lin Moyu sighed, withdrew his gaze, and said to Saint Hao, Senior, this junior has fulfilled his mission. As he spoke, Lin Moyu took out the pearl, which contained the supreme inheritance of the Yunwu sect. Saint Hao did not go to get the pearl, but said, just take a look at it first. Give it to me if you don't need it. Lin Moyu said, Senior, it's okay to take a look first and see if it's what you think. Saint Hao was also polite, that's fine. Advertisement. He reached out to pick up the pearl, but his hand passed through the pearl and could not reach it. Saint Hao showed a hint of surprise, and he tried several more times, but it was always the same. He used the rules of the virtual realm and the rules of the virtual realm, and found that he could not touch the pearl. The pearl is clearly right in front of you, but it seems like it doesn't exist at all. Even if he used the stored magic weapon to expand the world of rules, he could not have any impact on the pearl. Lin Moyu suddenly understood something and blurted out, this is a virtual thing. It was the first time Saint Hao heard this word, what is a virtual thing? Lin Moyu said, in the inheritance of Yunwu sect, everything in the world, and even the entire world, can be divided into two categories, virtual and real. Why? What we usually come into contact with are real things that can be seen and touched. The inheritance of the Yunwu sect is a virtual inheritance, which cannot be seen, touched, or even felt. Lin Moyu briefly explained the Yunwu sect's inheritance philosophy, but the Holy Lord was obviously unable to understand it. To understand reality and reality, you need to change your fundamental cognition. Just listening will not do anything. How difficult it is to change the essential cognition, and it is not something ordinary people can do. There were so many strong men in ancient times, but only 3 people in the entire Yunwu sect could do it. It was so difficult even then, let alone now. If you cannot understand the nature of reality and reality, you will not be able to truly understand the Yunwu sect, let alone obtain the supreme inheritance of the Yunwu sect. This pearl is the best example. No matter what method Holy Lord Hao uses, he cannot touch it. And Lin Moyu can easily hold it by just reaching out. Saint Hao said with some helplessness, it seems that this inheritance has no chance with me, but it is enough for you to get it. Lin Moyu said, Senior, if you have any questions, just ask. Saint Hao asked, can you tell me about your experience in the inheritance tower? What exactly is the inheritance of the Yunwu sect? Lin Moyu smiled and said, of course, even if the seniors don't ask about this, the juniors will still have to talk about it. In the battleship, Wu Xingzong brewed a new pot of Taoist tea. But this time, Dao Shui was not used. Dao Shui was very rare and Wu Xingzong could not use it every time. Lin Moyu told in detail what happened after he stepped into Yunwu Mountain. Wu Xingzong has received many fragments of inheritance and has obtained some Yunchuan sect spells. It can be deduced from this that the inheritance of Yunwu sect is related to luck. If you want to obtain the inheritance of Yunwu sect, you must find some people with extremely good luck. And those who are extremely lucky can successfully cultivate to the peak of the gods, or to the other side. It's okay for everyone to call them their ancestors. The result is that he has never been able to obtain the inheritance of Yunwu sect. Now I know that if you want to inherit, good or bad luck is only one aspect. Holy Lord Hao whispered, it's similar to our guess. The inheritance of Yunwu sect can control luck. I just didn't expect that in the supreme inheritance, there is still a trace of the remnant soul of Tianzuan. Recalling that I was suppressed and unable to move before, it was a very unpleasant feeling. But now that I think about it, the other party is Tianzuan. Even if it is just a remnant soul, he is still Tianzuan. Between the Holy Lord and the Heavenly Lord, there is a supreme being. There are two great realms apart. Thinking about it this way, Wu Xingzuan felt much more balanced. At least he wasn't in a very embarrassed state, which was much better than those shameless old guys. Lin Moyu still hid some information because there were some things he couldn't say. It was impossible for him to tell Wu Xingzuan that there was no hope in this world. Unless he can repair the Great World Rune, he can only wait for death. At the same time, he couldn't tell Saint Hao that there was another way. Advertisement. Because this road is equivalent to no other side for all human beings' current realms. Because when they reached the other side, they took a shortcut and cut themselves off from this path. For them, unless the divine path is recast one day, they can hope to step on the divine path and achieve supreme status. Otherwise, the limit in this life is the Holy Lord. The runes of the big world were damaged, which had a great impact on the entire world. All cultivators in the big world have their lifespans reduced. Saints in ancient times could live for 100,000 years. But now it is difficult to live even 50,000 years. Furthermore, resources are difficult to regenerate. Although the world is still expanding, it is meaningless. And as it continues to expand, the power of the world becomes more and more dispersed, and resources will only shrink faster. Until the big world expands to its limit, and its resources shrink to its limit, and eventually collapses completely. In the end, Huanwu Tianzuan burned the remaining souls, took away the luck of all races, and bought some time for the big world, but it was still limited. Lin Moyu felt that it was good for him to know about this kind of despair, and there was no need to tell Hao Xingzuan and others. Some things are better not to know than to know. Saint Hao said, after you go back, you must fully understand the inheritance of Yunwu sect. After you master the inheritance, and then your level will be higher, you can do the next thing. Lin Moyu asked, what's next? Saint Hao did not hide anything. We are going to find something to see if it can be of some help to the divine path. You also know that we have been working hard to repair the divine road for so many years. Although we don't know the method, countless experiments have yielded some results. The saints have been working hard and never give up. They know very well that their efforts may not be of much use, but they have to do it before they are willing to do it. Lin Moyu will not undermine their confidence. Advertisement. The battleship returned to the Divine City, and Lin Moyu entered his training room. The Soul World is also the prototype of its own rules world. There is a pearl floating in front of the soul. The supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect is inside. At this time, the sound of crying came from the pearl, and Lin Moyu was a little helpless. Xiaowu, you have been crying all the way, stop crying. Master, let me cry for a while. Master Wu's clear voice came from the pearl, and there were also choking sounds at the same time. Lin Moyu received the supreme inheritance and became Master Wu's new master. As a result, Master Wu became Xiao Wu. The pearl contains not only the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect, but also what Huanwu Tianzuan wants to say to Xiao Wu. Huanwu Tianzuan told Xiao Wu the reason why he put her to sleep. Why should she be so busy at that time? Why should she be with a large number of Yunyuan sect disciples? Xiao Wu finally knew that Huanwu Tianzuan was cultivating her spirituality. Only by constantly getting along with living beings and constantly communicating and talking can spirituality be gradually enhanced. In the end, Xiao Wu had emotions similar to those of humans, allowing her to think like humans. The whole process is very slow and may take more than 10,000 years. Only with this foundation can Tianzu and Huanwu create a physical body for Xiaowu at the right time, turning Xiao Xue into a real person. Unfortunately, the Black Blood realm later invaded and the two realms fought, so Huan Tianzuan's idea could not be realized in the end. In order for Xiaowu to exist for a long time and retain the last glimmer of hope, Huanwu Tianzuan made Xiaowu fall into a deep sleep. "Please give me flowers." And before Xiaowu fell asleep, Huanwu Tianzuan also strengthened Xiaowu's luck, which can be regarded as strengthening her hope. Even before the world of rules was broken, they tried their best to preserve this inheritance. For the Yunwu sect, I hope there will be successors, and secondly for Xiaowu. As Xiao Xue's old master, Huanwu Tianzuan has done everything he can, and he has done everything he can to be kind and righteous. Advertisement. Xiaowu slept for 1,000,000 years, and it wasn't until Lin Moyu broke through Yunwu Mountain and entered the Yunwu Hall that Xiaowu woke up again. So she had no idea how many years had passed and what happened outside. To her, it was just a long sleep. After Xiaowu learned the truth of the matter, she burst into tears and cried nonstop. Lin Moyu didn't go to comfort her. There were some things that she needed to calm down on her own. After crying enough, I naturally gave up. Lin Moyu communicated with Pearl and began to formally accept the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect. Luck exploration technique, explosive luck technique. From basic to advanced and then to sublimation, the three techniques have been continuously upgraded, becoming an invincible technique. So what will it be in the supreme inheritance? A large amount of information is transmitted into the soul. Even if Lin Moyu's soul is strong enough, it feels full in an instant. Lin Moyu felt that he was thrust into the whole world, and countless mysterious and complicated truths were stuffed in at once. If it were an ordinary god, his soul would explode on the spot, and he would either die or become an idiot. Fortunately, the duration was not long, only a few dozen seconds, and all the information had been transmitted. Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh at himself. Inheritance is dangerous, so be careful when accepting it. The next step is to sort out the information. The supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect is not a technique, but an endless concept. These concepts are a further sublimation of the theory of luck. They try to explain luck and cause and effect in a special way. If you can absorb it all, you may have a chance to understand the law of cause and effect. It is extremely difficult to understand the laws of virtuality. They cannot be seen, touched, or even felt. It can only be touched occasionally through some special methods. It is more difficult than the laws of time and space. Lin Moyu didn't expect that he could understand the law of cause and effect all at once. He could only take it slowly step by step. As the information continued to be sorted out, his understanding of luck continued to deepen, and he came into contact with the second level above luck, the vastness of luck. The two words luck and chi luck are exactly the same, but the order is reversed, and they have completely different meanings. Everything, whether living or dead, has luck. When luck is exhausted, living things die and dead things collapse. You can look at the entire galaxy, the entire race, or even the entire world. The number of living things and dead things is too numerous to count. If you want to judge the life and death of an entire galaxy, race, or world. If you want to see the luck of the living and dead inside one by one, it is almost an impossible task. Even the Human Emperor Network can check the luck of every stone on every star in the human race. Therefore, luck appeared in the inheritance of Yunwu sect. Luck represents the entire galaxy, the entire race, and even the entire world. Even if it is like a big world, it still has its destiny. The stronger the luck, the stronger the world will be. When luck is weak, various problems will arise. 4.1. A small one can be a natural disaster or a man-made disaster, or a big one can be a catastrophe. While luck can change according to various reasons, the root of luck is still cause and effect, but it is more macroscopic. Once you understand luck, You can look down at the entire world from a higher perspective and finally see through the boundaries of the void and understand cause and effect. This is the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect, from luck to luck, and then from luck to cause and effect. One ring within another, very tight. Advertisement. In the final analysis, it is because the law of virtual class is really difficult to understand. The ancestors of the Yunwu sect can come up with such a method, which is already extremely smart. Lin Moyu guessed that the person who created this method should have understood the law of cause and effect. Through sorting out the inheritance, Lin Moyu also understood that what Huan Tianzuan finally deprived was not the luck of each race, but luck. If luck weakens, the luck of everyone in the two tribe will decline. And this kind of deprivation will last for a long time, and may even be unlucky forever. According to Huan Wu Tianzuan, the reason why the great world has fallen to this point is because it has plundered too much of the world's origin and suffered too much cause and effect. Then plundering the origin is cause, and being invaded is shit. But without this cause and effect, wouldn't the big world be invaded? If there were no plundering of other worlds, the big world wouldn't be so powerful. What would happen when it encounters an invasion? Those plundered worlds did not plunder others, but they were still invaded by us. What is their cause and effect? In this way, the reason for plundering those small worlds is the human race. The human race is almost extinct because it cannot bear the consequences. But they have received shelter because of the human race. How should the cause and effect be calculated? Finally, Huan Wu Tianzuan said that these people are ashamed of the human race and the world. Why is this? These people must be referring to Tianzuan or Supreme. They have fought to the end and sacrificed everything, so why do they say that again? The more Lin Moyu thought about it, the more he felt that the whole thing was confusing and full of mystery. It is true that the stronger you are, the more you will find yourself insignificant. Lin Moyu thought of the old man in green in the small world. The big boss was the one who really couldn't see clearly. Since Antares doesn't dare to mention his name, who is that big boss? Also in the strange scene, Lin Moyu seemed to see the world of his previous life. How should he explain it? Lin Moyu feels that the whole world is full of mystery and mystery. If you really want to see these clearly, you can only stand higher, at least to the position of Tianzuan, to see clearly. Advertisement. I finally finished sorting out the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect, and got some insignificant gains, but I am still far away from the true understanding. The bulging feeling in his soul gradually subsided, and Lin Moyu became much more relaxed. The crying in Pearl finally stopped, and she opened her eyes to see Xiao Wu sitting on Pearl, looking at her eagerly. "Have you cried enough?" Lin Moyu asked. Xiao Wu nodded, with a bit of innocence. "I've cried enough. Xiao Lu has seen Qi." Lin Moyu smiled and said, "There's no need to be so polite. I won't assign you anything to do. When I have the opportunity, I will find a way to create a physical body for you." Xiao Wu nodded. "Well, this is what the old master once wanted to do, and it is also Xiao Wu's current expectation." Lin Moyu smiled. "Then you can rest in the pearl." Xiao Wu said, "Master, do you really have nothing for Xiao Wu to do? This Master Wu has lost his temper, has a very good attitude, and is completely different from the previous one." Lin Moyu thought about it and felt that it was not interesting for Xiao Wu to be idle like this. "I couldn't help but ask, tell me, what will you do?" Xiao Wu thought for a while. "There are quite a lot of things I can do. The old master taught me a lot of things at that time. For example, managing formations, controlling runes, and repairing broken runes. Xiao Wu also knows various techniques in the Yunwu sect, knows most of the materials, knows what each material can be used for, and how to draw. Xiao Wu knows everything about alchemy and weapon refining." Xiao Wu said a lot, and Lin Moyu realized that he had really underestimated her. Huan Wu Tianzuan is not cultivating her as a weapon spirit, but as half a descendant, or even half a daughter. Xiao Wu knew almost everything except those things in the inheritance tower. It's a pity that she can't practice. Tian has a physical body and can practice like living beings, so to what extent can it be achieved? I don't know how strong he is, but Lin Moyu has no problem becoming a master of alchemy and weapon refining. Advertisement. Lin Moyu suddenly had an idea in his mind. Maybe Xiao Wu's existence could help him a lot. And he also promised Huan Wu Tianzuan that he would try his best to shape Xiao Wu's body and make her a real living being. Lin Moyu pointed at the Fu formation group not far away. Xiao Wu, can you help me modify those formations? Xiao Wu glanced at it, then patted her chest and assured, no problem, master. What do you want to transform it into? Lin Moyu stated his requirements, which were nothing more than stronger defense and the ability to automate production without his intervention. Xiao Wu agreed and flew over. Lin Moyu conveyed a message to Jinling Xiaojin, asking him to cooperate with Xiao Wu. Although the formation spirit also has some intelligence, compared with Xiao Wu, it is not even close to that of Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu began to study the talisman array created by Lin Moyu, and Xiaojin cooperated. Lin Moyu did not know what kind of results he would eventually produce. It doesn't matter whether there is something to gain or not. Lin Moyu doesn't expect anything. If there is, it doesn't matter if it's better not to. The main thing is to find something to do for Xiao Wu to prevent her from getting bored. Lin Moyu calmed down and continued to study the inheritance left by the Yunwu sect. In the Divine City, in the Central Temple, Holy Lord Wu 0.7 told Holy Lord Tian everything about this incident. After hearing this, Tian Xingzuan fell into deep thought. Our understanding of this world is still too shallow. As he spoke, he said towards the void, Human Emperor, what do you think? A few seconds later, the voice of the Human Emperor Network sounded in the hall. Judging from the information obtained so far, the world does have two sides, virtual and real. I always thought that my existence was already a virtual side, but now it seems that is not the case. There is no answer yet, but I will research the reality and try to find the answer. Next time you wander around, you can also try to explore the virtual world. Tian Xingzuan hummed, I will. At this time, Wu Xingzuan suddenly received a message from Lin Moyu. After reading it, he looked strange. Lin Xiaoyu wants a person who is occupied by the soul-devouring clan and is not in the realm of a god. What is he going to do? Tian Xingzuan said, maybe Lin wants to do some experiments. If he wants it, then give it to him. In the past few years, the human race has discovered many members of the spirit-eating clan. Most of them have been killed, and a small number remain. The human race controlled it and conducted research. It sounds cruel, but it is also helpless. Everyone knows that it is difficult to eradicate the soul-devouring clan, and it may break out again tens of thousands of years later. This incident also made the humans realize that their understanding of the spirit devourers was not in depth and further research was needed. Research requires samples, so under this premise, some people were left behind. These people are not very strong, and they are easily controlled if they are not worthy of being a god. The human race found a deserted planet, imprisoned them there, and arranged numerous formations. Coupled with the surveillance of the Human Emperor Network, there would be no problems. Now that Lin Moyu wants to be alone, it will naturally not be a problem. Soon, one of them was singled out, and after being restrained, he was sent directly to the Divine City. Lin Moyu understood the supreme inheritance of Yunwu sect and wanted to understand the art of luck, but gradually, he found that he was not qualified. It's not that you don't have enough understanding, it's that you don't have enough cultivation. If you want to use the luck technique, you need rule power 17. In other words, you must at least reach the other side to be qualified to learn. Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile bitterly. No wonder at that time I felt that Huan Wu Tianzuan's eyes were a little weird. It turned out to be because of this. But on the other side, sooner or later, let's let it go first. Lin Moyu is a bachelor's master of the art of stopping luck. Since he is not qualified, let's wait until he is qualified. Anyway, the supreme inheritance is in your hands, and it won't run away. No one else can snatch it away even if they want to. He then began to return to his old ways and began to understand the laws of space. Advertisement. In the divine realm, choosing multiple laws to practice together has advantages and disadvantages. Convenience is Lin Moyu's most commonly used saying. Stones from other mountains can be used to attack jade. This is indeed the case. No matter what the rules are, they all have commonalities. The disadvantage is that when you understand multiple laws, your cultivation speed will be slower. If Lin Moyu had not learned the laws of space and time, he would now be more than a god. Lin Moyu has no regrets. He has been faced with various choices since the beginning of practice. As long as he makes a choice, whether it is right or wrong, he will not regret it. It was the same this time. After deciding to understand the laws of space and time at the same time, Lin Moyu was ready to slow down his cultivation speed. There's nothing wrong with being slower. The integration of the rules after successful comprehension is truly worth looking forward to. Compared to others, I am already much faster. What I'm pursuing now is not speed and suddenness in the realm, but absolute combat power in the same realm. Combat power is the most real thing. Lin Moyu thought of what Huan Wu Tianzu and said, he still has time. Yes, he still has time. The wings of the undead spread out behind Lin Moyu. The wings of the undead vibrated sharply, and strands of space law filled the training room. Now Lin Moyu's soul has improved again, reaching the Saint Realm, and the prototype of the rules world has been built. The improvement of the soul realm makes the space laws stimulated by the wings of the undead become clearer and more powerful. Lin Moyu suddenly thought, if I push my luck to the limit, will I realize it faster? Just do it when you think of it. Lin Moyu immediately exploded his luck. Luck increased dramatically. A white mist appeared above the head. The white mist turned into the shape of a dragon, and bursts of dragon roars were heard. Luck turns into a dragon. Luck breaks through the limits and condenses into shape. Advertisement. No matter what Lin Moyu does at this moment, everything will be smooth sailing. Although it can only last for a short period of time, it can still play an amazing role. Lin Moyu seizes the opportunity and continues to understand the laws of space. In an instant, a lot of insights came to my mind, as if the fog was lifted, and many things that were previously unclear became clear. The originally vague laws of space are now revealed in another clear form. 10 minutes later, the fog above the head disappeared, the dragon's roar gradually faded, and luck returned to normal. Just 10 minutes is a very short time to understand the law, just like the snap of a finger. But these 10 minutes are extremely important to Lin Moyu. Like a person who has been outside the door for a long time, he finally found the key and opened the door to the treasure house. Finally, you no longer need to peek through the cracks to see the scenery inside the door. Instead, you can use the key to open the door and take a wide view. In 10 minutes, the effect is better than the previous one for a year. Lin Moyu was overjoyed and clenched his fists unconsciously. It really works. At this moment, his mood was slightly disturbed. Having your ideas verified and detonating your sublimation luck can really speed up your understanding of the rules. So, if it is used to understand the law of time, it should also be useful. Although it is difficult to understand the space law, it can be regarded as a small achievement. After all, the law galaxy has appeared. But the law of time is still far away. So much so that Lin Moyu once gave up the idea of the two laws going hand in hand. The emergence of explosive luck once again ignited Lin Moyu's idea of going hand in hand. He tried to begin to understand the laws of time. An hour later, Lin Moyu once again used the explosive luck technique to detonate his luck. Luck turned into a dragon, and dragons roared in the training room. Advertisement. The red light flashed at the same time, and the time curse came out in response to the materials used for cultivation. The curse appears, and time accelerates, causing the law of time to reveal its clues. In the state of luck transforming into a dragon, the law of time is finally revealed more clearly. Compared with the laws of space, the laws of time are more obscure and difficult to understand, and are much more difficult to understand. Otherwise, with Lin Moyu's understanding, it would be impossible for him to have no big gains for so long. Now, with overwhelming luck, he finally grasped the context of the law of time and began to move towards the law of time. A battleship flew into the divine city. There were only two people in the battleship, Wu and another divine king. The God King was unconscious at this time. Not only his body was unconscious, but his soul was as well. Her soul is not the human race, but the soul of the Soul Eater clan. Saint Hao has been waiting for a long time. Zhu Qiwu respectfully saluted Saint Wu. I have seen the teacher. Wu Xingzuan smiled and said, Qiwu, thank you for your hard work this time. Zhu Qiwu immediately said, no hard work, just ask the teacher if you have anything to do. Qiwu dares not to obey. Wu Xingzuan smiled and said, send the person to the editor. As he spoke, he pointed his finger, and a beacon appeared in the sky, pointing to the training room where Lin Moyu was. Zhu Qiwu said, it turns out that this guy Lin Moyu wants someone. As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly realized that he had let something slip. I'm usually used to being casual with Lin Moyu, but I can't say that in front of Saint Hao. Hao Xingzuan calls Lin Moyu a little friend, while he calls Lin Moyu a boy. This is disrespectful to Hao Xingzuan. Fortunately, Wu Xingzuan didn't care about what kind of person his disciple was. How could he, a teacher, not know clearly? Go ahead, don't keep Xiao Yulin waiting. Yes. Zhu Qiwu quickly led the people and followed the sign. But he was thinking in his heart, will this guy wait for me? It's enough for me to wait for him. Zhu Qiwu was right. Of course Lin Moyu would not wait for him, and he still had to wait for Lin Moyu. The door to the training room was closed tightly. Zhu Qiwu knocked, but no one answered. I sent a message to Lin Moyu, but there was no response either. There is no good way but to wait patiently. From the faint energy fluctuations coming from the training room and the movement of formations on the door of the training room, it can be judged that Lin Moyu is practicing inside. You brat, a mere god wants me to wait and see how I deal with you. Zhu Qiwu gritted his teeth, looking like he wanted Lin Moyu to look good. He simply sat down at the door to see how long it would take. When it comes to patience, Zhu Qiwu never lacks it. He could sit in the void of the battlefield for 1,000 years, but now such a little time is nothing. If you practice, I will practice too. Zhu Qiwu started practicing directly at the door. With the inheritance of the Broken Star Supreme in his body, there were still many things he needed to understand. A young man and an old man, one inside and one away, are cultivating themselves in this way. Lin Moyu used the time curse again and again, while constantly detonating his luck and understanding the law of time. Gradually, he discovered the rules of the explosive luck technique. If used continuously, the effect of the explosive luck technique will become worse and worse. He realized that luck would be consumed. Every time he used the explosive luck technique, a certain amount of luck would be consumed and it would take time to recover. In the end, he found a balance point and used the explosive luck technique every 2 hours for 10 minutes each time, which had the best effect. The 10 minutes of explosive luck are extremely precious. You can understand a lot of things, and then use the remaining time to digest and absorb them. As this cycle continues, Lin Moyu's understanding of the law of time gradually deepens. He fell into it and never tired of it, getting closer and closer to the threshold of the law. Advertisement. Finally, 3 months later, a brilliant galaxy of laws emerged in Lin Moyu's soul world. This law galaxy is extremely weird and different from any law galaxy Lin Moyu has ever seen. First, there is a small tributary that connects to the huge and majestic galaxy of the Law of Time. The Law of Time galaxy seems to be connected to another more majestic river. The Law of Time galaxy, which is already majestic enough, seems very small when compared with this big river. The river is elusive and hazy, and only an outline can be seen clearly. But Lin Moyu can feel the terror of this river. Just the slightest breath coming out made Lin Moyu feel like he was about to be crushed. Lin Moyu felt awe in his heart and his eyes were full of shock. What is this? Wow, how did you summon it? A crisp voice came, and Xiao Wu, who was originally exchanging feelings with Xiao Jing, flew over on her exclusive white cloud. Lin Moyu asked, do you know what it is? Xiao Xue nodded, I know, this is the passage of time. Time flows. Lin Moyu immediately thought of fate. What is the relationship between the long river of time and the long river of fate? Lin Moyu asked shamelessly, Xiao Wu, can you tell me everything you know about the long river of time? Xiao Wu nodded, of course, but I also heard what the old master said, and I don't actually know much. The old master said that the long river of time runs through the past and future of the entire world. Through the long river of time, you can go back to the past or go to the future. But the old master also said that Tianzuan is not qualified to enter the river of time. Xiao Wu's words shocked Lin Moyu again. Even Tianzuan is not qualified to enter the river of time, so who else can enter? Could it be that only the legendary Taoist master can enter? But is there a Taoist master in the big world? I'm afraid there hasn't been one since ancient times. Advertisement. Xiao Wu tilted her head, thought for a while, and suddenly shouted, I remembered that the old master had a friend in the past, who seemed to be called Time God. At that time, the master of time came to discuss matters with the old master. The old master asked me to serve tea on the side. He was almost too busy, and he had to assign others to do this and that. It was really annoying. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he could think of Huan Wu Tianzuan's intention. The discussion between the two heavenly lords is a great opportunity for everyone. Even getting a sliver of a claw is extremely precious, yet this guy Xiao Xue was present throughout the entire process, and yet he even complained. At the same time, he also knew that in ancient times, not only did some people understand the law of time, but they were also promoted to heaven. What did they say? Xiao Wu said, at that time, the old master asked Time Heavenly Lord if he had ever entered the river of time. Time Heavenly Lord said at the time that entering the river of time has nothing to do with the law of time. No matter who it is, there is a chance to enter, but Heavenly Lord is not enough. Even he is not qualified to enter. Even Tianzuan, who controls the law of time, is not qualified to enter the river of time. This is enough to show how terrifying the passage of time is. There is a long river that runs through the past and future. If you can enter, you can go to the past and future. It is indeed not possible to enter if you want to. For no reason, a person appeared in Lin Moyu's mind. The old man in green robe who generously gave the original magic to himself in the secret realm of the origin and killed countless powerful men with a wave of his hand, is he qualified to enter the long river of time? Maybe, maybe not. Lin Moyu has no answer. But if you were to say that he had met the most mysterious person in his life, it was the old man in green robe. Lin Moyu asked, Xiao Wu, do you know the long river of destiny? Xiao Wu frowned, thinking hard, and finally found the relevant information in his memory. I remembered that the old master had a friend named Destiny. One time, Destiny came to talk to the old master. The old master asked me to serve tea on the side. He was almost too busy, and he had to assign people to do this and that. It was really annoying. Lin Moyu burst out laughing after hearing the exact same words. It is obvious that this classmate Xiao Wu has a deep resentment for his busy life back then. Advertisement. Xiao Wu complained and then continued, Destiny Tianzuan talked about the River of Destiny, but he didn't mention anything too specific. But the old master said later that destiny cannot really change destiny. Lin Moyu thought about Xiao Wu's words and roughly guessed what they meant. The strong men in ancient times indeed exceeded my imagination. The Heavenly Lord of Fantasy Mist, the Heavenly Lord of Time, and the Heavenly Lord of Destiny. They were all terrifying beings who mastered a kind of power to the extreme, but even such beings died later. Died? Lin Moyu was horrified, and a question arose in his mind, are they, Wang Nuos, really all dead? The last words of Huan Wu Tianzuan came to mind again. We people are ashamed of the world and countless living beings. Why feel ashamed? As a heavenly lord, if you fight to the end, just like those supreme lords, you will fight to the death. Why do you still feel guilty? This sentence is so strange, so strange. He is talking about some people, that is, more than one. Lin Moyu thought of another possibility, whether these Tianzuan had left the big world and separated from the big world. Only in this way can it be explained. Lin Moyu came back to his senses and sighed. This is not what he should consider now. Xiao Wu, can you still remember what they said when Tianzuan discussed Taoism? Xiao Wu thought, I can still remember some of it, but some of it is not clear because I was too busy at the time. Lin Moyu said, if you think about it carefully, write down as much as you can remember. Xiao Wu hummed, and quickly agreed. The door to the training room slowly opened, and Lin Moyu saw Zhu Qiwu sitting at the door. Zhu Qiwu sensed Lin Moyu, stopped practicing, raised his eyelids and looked over sideways. Boy Lin, you are so arrogant now. Lin Moyu said shamelessly and without changing his expression, how could I have thought that you were the one who sent me here? Zhu Qiwu snorted, it's not because you are proud enough to send a god king, but I have to do it myself. Lin Moyu said, it's not that I'm too proud, it's because Wu Xingzuan trusts you. Stop flattering me. The person you want has been delivered. If nothing happens, I will leave. If you stay any longer, I might not be able to help but beat you. Zhu Qiwu threw the unconscious god king in front of Lin Moyu. The invisible force restrained her, making her feel worried. This god king has a beautiful appearance and a tall figure. He looks very young and has not been practicing for a long time. If he hadn't been taken over by the soul devourers, he would have been a rare genius. Zhu Qiwu said he wanted to leave, but in fact he didn't move. Lin Moyu knew what he was thinking as soon as he saw it, and immediately gave him a step. Please walk slowly first. Maybe there will be something to trouble you later, so I won't have to run back and forth. Please come in. Zhu Qiwu's face showed a look of satisfaction, but he muttered, it's really troublesome, I can't talk about it all at once. He followed Lin Moyu into the training room, but there was curiosity in his eyes. Lin Moyu walked in front with a smile in his eyes. How did he know that Zhu Qiwu had already been overflowing with curiosity? 783 What is the purpose of wanting a god king whose body was taken away by the soul devourers, and also specifying that he wants a woman? Zhu Qiwu followed behind, his eyes strange. He kept looking at Lin Moyu, and he made weird laughs from time to time. Advertisement. Boy Lin, just tell the truth what you want to do. This woman, regardless of appearance or figure, is the best choice. Lin Moyu's voice came faintly, Senior Zhu, you can be considered the head of the family. You have thousands of descendants, not to mention tens of thousands. Do you think so, okay? Zhu Qiwu chuckled, what's the good thing? We are all men, and the butcher understands. Lin Moyu said, then you can marry more. With your current status, it won't be a problem to marry 10 or hundreds more. As long as you open your mouth, I'm afraid there will be countless fairies and maidens waiting in line to marry you. Zhu Qiwu's eyes widened, you brat, you are getting bolder and bolder. I'm just kidding. You were the one who joked with me first. Lin Moyu turned around and looked at Zhu Qiwu with a smile. The two of them, one old and the other young, looked at each other with big eyes and small eyes, and it took a long time for them to laugh out loud. Zhu Qiwu sat slantedly in the air without any image. No kidding, what use do you want her for? Lin Moyu, said, I want to try to see if I can turn the soul-eating clan's ability to seize bodies into a spell. Zhu Qiwu snorted, absolutely impossible. This is the talent of the soul-devouring tribe. How can it be turned into a spell? Lin Moyu doesn't think so. The soul-devouring clan once integrated their clan's abilities and spells into themselves and inherited them from generation to generation, just like taking away a body. Since they can incorporate other things into their talents, it also shows that their talents are not dead things. If you do the opposite, it is not impossible to reverse the talents into spells. I have seen similar examples in the Human Emperor Network. Some races can turn talents into spells and pass them on to future generations. Zhu Qiwu still thought it was impossible, then you give it a try. Lin Moyu said, you will know whether it succeeds or not as soon as you try it. His soul power vibrated violently, and the majestic soul power rolled out, and the shadow of the soul world emerged in the training room. Zhu Qiwu was stunned and screamed, Rule world. How can you have a world of rules? Advertisement. Lin Moyu wrote lightly, just confused. Zhu Qiwu still couldn't believe it. The prototype is incredible. You have the prototype of the world of rules. It is a certainty that you will become a saint in the future. Maybe. Lin Moyu responded noncommittally. To him, it was really just a prototype, and it was still far from the rules world he wanted. The soul power enveloped the God King, whose body was taken away by the soul-devouring clan, and quickly penetrated into her body, and I entered her soul world. Come out. The soul power turned into a giant hand and forcefully grabbed the opponent's soul. The soul of the Soul Eater tribe is like a small insect, curled up there, motionless. On the soul, there are some runes that form restrictions and control the souls of the soul devourers. Lin Moyu's soul power turned into spikes, instantly piercing the souls of the soul devourers. With a slight scream, the soul of the soul devourer died on the spot. Lin Moyu's soul power was wrapped up at this moment, preventing the souls of the soul devourers from collapsing. But this can only last for a period of time. The disintegration of the soul after death is inevitable and unstoppable. Once the soul dies, the body that has been taken away also falls into death. At this time, Lin Moyu exerted a majestic vitality, causing the physical body to continue to be in a semi-dead state and maintain a certain level of activity. The soul is dead but not broken, and the body is half dead. Zhu Qiwu saw this and his eyebrows jumped. He was used to fighting and killing, and he thought he was not as good as Lin Moyu with such a refined operation. Yu Yu is relatively familiar with Lin Moyu's magical abilities, and he also knows that Lin Moyu may be the only one in the world who can do this. Lin Moyu opened the eyes of the soul and sensed carefully at the same time, confirming that the connection between the soul and the body was completely severed. He muttered to himself, after all, they came from a different body. No matter how they are fused, they are actually two completely different individuals. They couldn't be separated due to certain rules during life, but they can still be distinguished after death. Advertisement. Although the soul-devouring tribe's body snatching is terrifying, it is impossible to distinguish it while alive. But after death, the body and soul are still divided into two parts, each in their own hands. The immortal flame burns from the fingertips and envelopes the soul. White Star Spell, Resurrection of the Dead. This technique, which had not been used for a long time, once again showed his magical side. The soul that had just died began to be reborn in the immortal flames and regained its vitality. The reason why Lin Moyu retains his soul is to perform resurrection of the dead. The soul devourers are a very strange race. They are born with soul bodies. Once you die, nothing remains. If their soul bodies cannot be preserved, the resurrection of the dead will not be effective. If the object of resurrection is a person whose body has been taken away, then only the original body of the person will be resurrected, not the soul devourers. This kind of thing has happened before, so Lin Moyu needs to take out the soul devourers alone, kill them, and then resurrect them. Zhu Qiwu marveled at it. This technique of yours is really amazing. Lin Moyu said, I also think it's magical, but don't ask me why, I can't tell. Lin Moyu really couldn't tell. Everything had its root, but he didn't know where the root of the resurrection of the dead was. The soul of the soul devourer quickly completed its rebirth and became a resurrector. It was like a worm, crawling in front of Lin Moyu with great respect. Lin Moyu asked, what abilities have you lost and which abilities have you retained? The resurrected person answered honestly, he has lost the ability to communicate with his fellow humans, but retains the ability to seize bodies. In other words, even the resurrected can still win gold. However, because becoming a resurrector is equivalent to becoming a new race, they have lost the ability to communicate with other soul-eating tribes. Lin Moyu asked, can your ability to seize the body be used by others? Lin Moyu is not sure whether the ability to seize the body can be passed down, so he needs to test it. The first step in the experiment is also the simplest step, just ask. After becoming a resurrector, no matter what questions Lin Moyu has, he will answer them honestly. The resurrected person immediately responded, okay. Lin Moyu was overjoyed that he had guessed it right. Ju Qiwu couldn't help but exclaimed, "It's really possible." Lin Moyu continued to ask, "What to do?" The resurrected person said, "By refining our souls, we can obtain soul crystals. Using our soul crystals, we can launch a body-seizing process." It's so simple? Lin Moyu feels a little incredible, and there may be some restrictions. He continued to inquire and got more details. Although the resurrected people are very obedient and follow orders, their brains are generally not very good. After becoming a resurrector, his spiritual intelligence has been greatly weakened, making him more suitable to become a war king. After repeated inquiries, Lin Moyu finally got enough detailed information. Refining the souls of the soul devourers can indeed obtain soul crystals. But the probability of obtaining soul crystals is very low. The higher the realm of the soul devourers, the higher the probability of obtaining soul crystals. The probability of a Soul Eater tribesman in the God King realm getting a soul crystal is only about 1 in 10,000. When you reach the divine realm, this probability can be increased to 1,000th. But Lin Moyu doesn't think this is a problem when it comes to probability. He has a way to solve it. Advertisement. Then use the soul crystal to seize the body, and the effect is similar to that of the soul-eating tribe. During the inquiry, Lin Moyu discovered that this ability was not born with the soul devourers, but evolved, and it evolved actively. After asking for the reason, I found out that the spirit devourers were once too weak. In order to please some powerful beings, they took the initiative to evolve this ability and traded with this ability in exchange for some physical bodies. The soul-devouring clan also relied on the acquired bodies to become stronger step by step. Moreover, there are many benefits to seizing the body, that is, you can obtain part of the soul power of the person whose body was taken away, and you may also inherit the talent of the person who was taken away, thereby making yourself stronger. Ju Qiwu said, "Is this retaliation for retaliation? The soul-eating clan has taken away countless people. I never thought that their souls could have such a role. If this news is released, it is estimated that the soul-devouring clan will become a favorite. In the big world now, there are still many spirit devourers who have not been eliminated. If others knew that the soul devourers still had these abilities, many old guys would take action to refine the souls of the soul devourers. Just because they don't need it doesn't mean that their descendants won't need it. Seizing other people's bodies and gaining part of their soul power and talents is a disguised form of strengthening oneself." Ju Qiwu asked, "Speaking of which, what do you want to do with the ability of the spirit devouring clan? You don't want to take away the body." He knows how strong Lin Moyu's foundation is. Just Lin Moyu's physical body, it is difficult to find anyone in the whole world who can compare with it. He could not give up his physical body. Lin Moyu chuckled lightly and called Xiao Wu out. Xiao Wu drove white clouds and appeared in the practice room. Xiao Wu blinked her big eyes and looked at Lin Moyu. "Master, why did you call me here?" Lin Moyu pointed to the corpse of the God King lying on the ground. "I think it is better to give you a real physical body than to create a physical body for you. Look, do you like this kind of body?" When Huanwu Tianzuwen created Xiao Wu, the condensed shape was human race. Advertisement. Xiao Wu is completely acceptable to the human race's appearance. When she heard that she was going to choose a body for herself, Xiao Wu's eyes shone. She just glanced at it and nodded hastily. "I like it, Master is the best." Lin Moyu said, "Okay, that's it, I'll call you when I'm ready." Okay, thank you, Master is the best." Xiao Wu went back happily, and it was obvious that she was extremely excited. Ju Qiwu finally understood what Lin Moyu was going to do, and said with surprise, "You are doing it for a weapon spirit." He had heard of people molding bodies for weapon spirits, but he had never heard of people using weapon spirits to seize bodies. Lin Moyu said, "I promised Xiao Wu's old master that I would make Xiao Wu a real living being. A physical body made of various materials is not a real living being, it is just a puppet at best. So I want to try to see if I can let her take over her body and become a real living being." Lin Moyu didn't know what Huan Wu Tianzuan planned to do back then, but with Huan Wu Tianzuan's ability, he had been preparing for many years, and it was not easy to do it even if he thought about it. Huan Wu Tianzuan regards Xiao Wu as his daughter and a relative, and also does not want to turn Xiao Wu into a puppet-like existence. There seemed to be no spirit devourers in ancient times, so he could not seize the body. Now that I have this opportunity, Lin Moyu naturally wants to try it. Lin Moyu looked at Zhu Qiwu and said, I have to trouble you again. Help me bring a few more God King realms here. I still want female God Kings, young and beautiful ones. Please give me flowers. Zhu Qiwu already understood Lin Moyu's thoughts. Okay, leave this to me. With that said, Zhu Qi was on his way. With a thought, Lin Moyu dispersed Xia Xingzhua. The soul devourers who became resurrected were actually dead and could no longer be refined. Lin Moyu will definitely find a way to complete what he promises. This is also his principle in life. The practice room became quiet again, and Lin Moyu began to understand the law of time again. Advertisement. Now he has found the right method to make the two laws of time and space go hand in hand. For the time being, the law of space is still a little ahead, and the law of time is catching up. In the central temple, the voice of the Human Emperor Network suddenly sounded. Lin Moyu has built the prototype of a rules world. Both of them were surprised at the same time, and then Tianqi. Wu Xingzuan laughed loudly. Little friend Lin's path to becoming a saint has finally been completed. Tian Xingzuan also smiled and said, It is not a problem for Xiaoyu Lin to become a saint, but I didn't expect that a world of rules would be built so early. This is a great event. The god has built the prototype of a world of rules at the first level, which is unprecedented. Even the god of war only built the prototype of a rules-based world when he was at his peak as a god. From this aspect, Lin Xiaoyu has surpassed the god of war back then. The title of the second war god of the human race seems to be stable. The two of them were very happy. This was one of the best news in these years. At the same time, the two of them are also full of expectations for the future. Maybe Lin Moyu can really reach the top and rebuild his divine path. Really complete what Xiao Zhantian had not accomplished before. Saint Hao received Zhu Qiwu's message again and raised his eyebrows. Lin Xiaoyu also wants to devour the Spirit Clan members. Tian Xingzuan promised, give him as much as he wants, if it's not enough for us to catch him outside. Under the Divine City, on the beach of Law, Xing Lao slowly opened his eyes. The prototype of the world of rules is really unexpected. Can you accomplish what you couldn't accomplish back then? From another training room came the thundering laughter of Fu Xingzuan. I understand, I understand. In the training room, the light is bright, and a small box in the hand of Fu Xingzuan is shining. Countless runes are flowing rapidly on it, forming a complex and mysterious ancient talisman. It's just that this ancient talisman seems to have many flaws.